Hello, here's the Curt 13650 hitch for the Ford Escape Hybrid. This is a 2010 model. I just got it on here and I wanted to point out a couple things. The first is that it doesn't seem to be super symmetric. I don't know if you can see, yeah, I think you can see there's a gap on the right hand side and not on the left. And if you look at the back here, you can kind of see this right bent tube more than the left. So it's kind of hard to tell. If I look just at the receiver, that looks fairly square, except for this, gap being higher vertically on that side than that side. So I don't know. I think it's fine for my application, but if you're going to do some frequent heavy towing, you might want to reevaluate, or at least check that out, make sure it's going to be okay for you. This vehicle did have a rear end collision and it was rebuilt. It's got a salvage title on it, so I'm not sure how much that affected how this went on. I did have an issue getting these bolts on both sides through. The bolt holes didn't match up, and I know on this side, this rear piece has a lot of damage, and it was kind of bashed in with the rear end collision before the vehicle was rebuilt. So that was part of the issue on that side. It seemed like I had the same clearance issue on this side, and I couldn't really tell if there was any particular bending of this frame piece here. So it was close. All you have to do is drill it out using the hitch as a guide, so it was pretty easy, but just thought I'd point that out. Also, fishing, with this hitch kit, they give you these little, it's kind of like a helicoil, but with a wire on the other end, which works really well. They have a really good grip on the fastener when this is on, and you can pull it through with the backing plate on it. The only issue was getting those into the frame, getting those bolts with the backing plate into the frame to be fished through. A lot of videos I saw people using these other holes in the frame to get those in, which you could do, it looks like on those videos. For some reason, my backing plates and even the carriage bolt heads were too big to fit through any of the holes I had on the frame. So what I had to do is use kind of this gap at the end to get them through, which also was not big enough. And I'm not sure if that was because of how this vehicle was rebuilt after the crash, or if that's how it is stock, because this was replaced after the crash, and it could have been out of position a little bit. But what I did is I just used a crowbar to get in here and twist sideways just to open up that gap a little bit to get the carriage bolts and the backing plates through. So it worked out fine. It's just a little bit of muscle you got to put in there. Let's see. Oh, another thing is that on this, the instructions say on this side to include this spacer. It's a steel, like a 1/4 inch spacer or something. Pretty beefy. And I did that originally, and it made that misalignment that I was mentioning worse. So I just took it out, and it looks like it cleaned up the alignment visually from the back a little bit. So I would recommend not putting that plate in. I'm not really sure why they have that. The frame also looks symmetrical on both sides, so I'm not sure why they felt like this side needed to be a 1/4 inch lower than this side. Anyway, all right, last comment is that the label for the Curt specifications for this hitch, it's at a weird angle. It's really hard to see because it's like behind this bumper. They should put that label angled down or put it over here or something. Let's see. Final look. There it is. All right, enjoy.